All right, so it's 1:05. I promised at 1 o'clock I was going to get started in 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank y'all for coming. Here's what I'm going to say. Ask any question you have. Okay, I believe I'm going to share a lot of information, and I'm not going to say it's confusing, and yet it is a lot. So if you don't understand something, or you're like, I really like that, tell me more, just let me know. Okay. And then if we have to eat into Tiana's time, we'll do that too. I'm joking. I'm joking. We're not going to do that. All right. So real quick, I share this. I start every single class and presentation with this slide. And the reason I do this is because I don't think enough of us think about what's really important with us and what's important with our business. Right? These are conversations that I've recently started having with people. We come into the office and we make a promise to ourselves to get like 10 contacts, 20 contacts, whatever the case may be. For me, real estate is wonderful. I love it. I wouldn't be selling real estate if I didn't care about it. And yet, what's most important is what's at the top of the screen, right? And that's the fact that I'm a husband and father first. That's the reason I work every day. So a little bit about me. I'm from Philly, born and raised in Philly, blah, blah, blah. I'm 10 years in real estate, national real estate instructor and trainer, and then the expansion leader for the Coalition Properties Group. Part of the real estate training is bold. This thing that's on my t-shirt, there we go. And it matches the shoes. See? That's the reason I did the black and purple one. Right? All right. So that's just a little bit about me. It doesn't matter anymore. Let's get to the good stuff. So here's what we're going to talk about today. How to cap the quarter. Right? The very first thing is begin with the end in mind, which comes from Stephen Covey. Right? That's just understanding and knowing where your goals are, what they are, determining your system, what works best for you. Right? What works best for you? Jerry and Christina are probably going to have two very different systems, right? Because we are different people. So you got to do what works for you. Create the right approach. I'm going to mention some stuff in here about golf. I'm also probably going to hit dating because that's the one thing that I think everybody understands. So we'll talk a little bit about that. DTD2, which is a KW system and model that stands for do the database too. All right. We'll talk about FSBOs and expires, unsolicited CMAs, how to use Facebook and Instagram strategically. Now, not like what Tiana's does, because that's awesome. I'm not there yet. Mine is a simple post. Very, very simple post. However, it's super, super specific. Okay, so we'll talk about that. The promise conversation, aka script. A way that you can use your buyers to help you find more listings. And then FSBO deals. That's the very last thing we'll chat about. All right, so if you're going to cap an order, what I will say is this. The number one most important thing you can do is control your business. Don't allow other people to control your business. Right? And the easiest way for you to control everything is to focus on listings. Right? So I'm going to ask y'all questions as well. Here's the thing. If I ask a question 9 times out of 10, it's either going to be on the screen behind me. Probably 10 times 10 for this class, right? So why listings?
Equal leverage.
I love the enthusiasm. They equal leverage. Yes, no, 100%, right? Listings equals leverage. We say that all the time, right? How do you leverage your listings? Any idea how we leverage listings? No? Well, I'm going to jump straight to the bottom, right there. Open houses. You can leverage your listings through open houses. I know how many people here do open houses for buyers. Like you do an open house and you're like, hey, I'm going to get a buyer out of this. I'm looking to get some people to come through. Like that's cool. That's fine. That's nice. And if you host an open house correctly, you do a 7th level open house, you should be able to walk away with at least 1 to 2 potential new listings from every open house that you do. Now, we know with open houses, you're averaging 2 to 3 buyers, right? Listings, you average 2 to 3 buyers. Well, you get the same listing. You should walk away from that listing with 1 to 2 listings. It's a great leverage tool, and you get to control your business when you are controlling the market. You control the market with listings, right? We had 1.4 million buyers. I think it was like 2021, 2022. At one point in time, there were 1.4 million buyers. There were a little less than 1 million homes. Who had the leverage? Like the sellers. It is still the same. It's still that way. All right, so a lot of people may have seen this picture before, the triangle, leads, listings, leverage. I feel like most of the time when I'm talking to people about this, they completely forget the circle. So when we talk about leads, listings, leverage, yes, that's great. And then you have value proposition, service plan, and database. You get your leads by offering your value proposition, figuring out what it is that sets you apart from everybody else. What can you do for potential sellers that other people are not going to do, right? Or most people are not thinking about doing. Once you get that lead in, and you get them to sit down with you, you take that appointment, you show them, hey, this is me. I'm amazing. I'm the best person out there for you. You then follow through on your value proposition with your service. Okay? So once you have that listing, you follow through with your service plan. If you do that at 100%, if you are consistent, you have an amazing system, you know it works, you do what you're supposed to do, then you're able to add referrals to your database. And that's another area that leverage comes in. So it's not just, oh, we think lead listing leverage, like I get the lead, I turn it into a listing, and then I leverage through an open house. No, you use your value proposition. You follow through with your value prop through the service plan and the service that you provide. You provide amazing customer service, a great customer experience. They're going to give you referrals. That's going to go into your database. Statistically, whatever you have in your database, you should be able to look at that and say, hey, this is going to grow by 16.4% year over year. And I'm going to be able to, if you have 250 contacts in your database, you should be able to do at least 41 transactions from that. And then every time you do another transaction, you add that to your database, you continue to leverage it by staying in contact, right? So that's just the reason that we're focusing on listings for this particular class. All right, so I mentioned earlier, we begin with the end in mind. And understand what it is that, what is your goal? What is your purpose? What is it that you're looking to really accomplish? Always, whether you're starting the week, whether you're starting the month, the year, whether you're just starting in real estate, what is it that you're looking to accomplish? And think big. Gary says the power behind having big goals is really about the power of acquiring big habits. Big habits. What's a big habit that you can have in your business? Consistency. Consistency doing what? I'll give you a hint, a two-word phrase.
I was going to say prospecting, but
that works. Prospecting, right? Lead generation. Having certain conversations. Everybody's goals are different, right? Your goal and my goal might not look the same. The number of contacts you're looking for might not look like mine. You might set out for 20 contacts a day. Alex, for PC, what is the number of contacts? Is it 20 contacts a day?
We want them to do 25 to 50.
25 to 50 contacts a day. I love it. Oh, by the way, y'all might not have heard this yet. We had a meeting with Gary, and I'll just throw this out there. The 20 contacts a day that we typically tell everyone to go for is actually being increased to 30 now. Yep, it's being increased to 30. Just like the, what we say, the 36 touch program is also being increased. So the 36 touch program, where you're supposed to reach out to your clients and touch them at least 36 times a year, that's also being increased. Yes, because it takes more touches now, because there's so much information, so many things going on, and there's so much confusion in the market that you consistently being in front of your clients, providing them with accurate and good information will allow them to be able to move forward.
So do you know another thing?
So I don't know if Gary was serious about this or not, but I can tell you that when we talked to him last Friday, he mentioned somewhere around like 80. Doubling down on everything. Which, if you think about it, is not actually as challenging as it might seem. Right? When you think about all the different ways that you can touch people. So, right? Personally, I know my goals. I know what matters to me. I was not a family man in the past, and yet now I'm a family person. So for me, I'm not even looking for 20 contacts. I do 11 contacts a day. That's it. 11 contacts a day and I'm good. I hit my goals. Right. So you build your plan, you figure out what are your numbers, what is it that you must have, what's your end goal, what is it going to take for you to accomplish that. So if you're in productivity coaching, for you, you also want to graduate from productivity coaching. So for you, it's 25, 30 contacts a day. That's your plan, which means now you consistently get to go after 20 to 30 contacts a day. We're just talking about creating the right approach here, Steve. How do you get in front of those people? I know what my goals are. For me, it's 11 contacts a day. I must be consistent with 11 contacts a day. That's my plan. Right? If you anybody here ever used a GPS before? Yeah. What's the first thing a GPS asks you for? The address of where you're going, right? And then what does it ask you for?
Where you're starting.
Where you're at. And then after you have those two things, what does it give you?
Options. On how to get there.
Yeah, it gives you your directions, right? It gives you your plan. But unless you know where you plan to go and where you're at, where you're starting, you won't understand exactly how to get there. Like if I told you to just go to my house, you have no idea how to get there, right? So that's why you begin with the end of the thing. From there, you determine your system. What's going to work for you? You create your plan, you put it on a schedule, you stick to it. You figure out what's going to be your daily appointment goals, your daily contact goals. Those are the two numbers that you are really working with. Daily contacts, daily appointments. Now, maybe you have weekly goals. I challenge people, if you have weekly goals, attempt to get those weekly goals completed at the beginning of the week. Right? Make it your daily goal. If it's a Monday, hey, my goal now is 2 appointments this week. My goal is 2 appointments today. My goal is at least 1 appointment today. Yes.
So you're kind of
Yeah, so you'll see right over here. Sunday is an off day. For the most part, Saturday is primarily off days. I do open houses. I don't work after 3 p.m. on Saturdays because, again, family time. Outside of that, if I can take the full Saturday off, I take it off. I do my best to not work on Fridays, but that's my schedule, right? So for me, I'm coaching and things like that. I'm not prospecting on Fridays. By the way, this schedule that I'm showing you here, this system, it's a system that I now use. However, this is not my system. It's not my system. I'm a big fan of R&D. You ever heard of R&D? You know what that is? Rip off and duplicate, right? You find somebody else with a system that works, you put it into play, you make it work for you, rip off and duplicate. I stole this system from Cody Gibson and it works for me, right? So if you are someone who loves FISBOs and expires, boom. The reason we do FISBOs on Monday and expires on Tuesday is because we already know they can be draining. Calling FISBOs, calling expires, door knocking FISBOs, door knocking expires, it can drain the heck out of you. Which is why then we go to follow up on Wednesday, because now these are people we already have contact with. These are people that, we've already had good conversations with. So we follow up with them because it's a little bit easier on Hump Day. And then we go to the sphere of influence on Thursday because that's a super easy conversation. It doesn't take as much energy to have those conversations. Yes.
You repeat
With my what? My sphere of influence. Yep, sphere of influence. Yeah, and for me, Friday is an open day, right? It's a day that I'm going to do everything else, and if I didn't get to finish what I needed to on one of these other days, then I can do that on a Friday, right? In one of my open blocks. Okay? Saturdays for me, open houses. Now, again, this system may not be your system. I can tell you, at one point in time, most of my legion was done on Fridays and Saturdays, actually, and Sundays. And the reason is, we talk about things like creating the right approach. That's because in order for me to get in front of the people that I desired to work with at the time, that's when I got there. For me, I knew my avatar was people that I love to work with, right? Do you know who your avatar is? Yeah, what's your avatar? She's like,
Like,
wait, what was the first one?
that she works out.
She works out? Okay.
And then talk like they may not have a family, but I'm gonna talk to their people.
Okay.
My house, like family, talk like that.
I love that. I love that. And one of the things that I caught, you said she works out. So would I be wrong to say a large portion maybe of your client base is predominantly women?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Now, without asking her that, I can also kind of figure that out by looking at social media, right? People she go after are very different than the people that I'm going after. I'm going after the people who are, you know, in their, I'm going to say mid to late 20s, right? Through like 40s, 50s. They enjoy sports. They enjoy beer. Why? Because I enjoy sports. I enjoy beer. I like to work with people that are similar to me so we can have great conversations, build great friendships, right? Like that's what I love to do. That's part of my avatar. Now, the thing is, I can go to North Philly to Top Bar and I can watch sports and I can, you know, drink beer. However, I also have a desire to work with people in a certain price range. Like there's certain homes that I'm wanting to sell. So instead, for me, Friday and Saturday, Sunday, at that time, what I was doing was I was going to Urban Village. Y'all know Urban Village? Y'all ever been there? If not, I'm missing out. They got like the best wings in Philly. I'm just saying. Yes. It's in Northern Liberties. Right?
I've been there.
It's in Northern Liberties. It's Urban Village. Right? It's a microbrewery. Perfect. Sports bar. Perfect. Right? It's connected to Piazza where everybody is renting. Perfect. And it's not cheap rent. Perfect again. It's always big, so it's easy to go in there and find the people that I desire to talk to. When you're thinking about creating your right approach, the first thing you get to understand is who is my avatar? Who am I targeting? Right? You open up your phone, if you have an iPhone. If you don't, then I don't know if you have this app or not. Right? You create a Bitmoji, you want it to look like you. Go create your Bitmoji, your avatar to look like the client that you desire to work. Understand as much of them as you can. How much money do they make? What are their professions? What are all their interests? Are they boring, right? Homebodies, or are they people who like to have a really great weekend life? That's up to you. And you got to create. That's how you figure out where you're going to find. And the approach really does matter, right? Anybody here play golf at all? No? All right, then we're going to completely get out of the golf side, okay? I usually go with the golf. That's why the picture's there. And anybody here ever dated anyone? Did I just see? Did I was gonna say? Did I just? I'm not gonna call anyone out. And yet, did I see someone shake their head? No, never dated. I'm not gonna ask any questions. Are you sure you never dated anyone? Really? Kudos to you if you have not. It's a headache. No. So here's the thing: when you're dating someone, you're looking for somebody that fits your lifestyle, right? Somebody that you would like to be around. If I don't know, maybe you're not the type of person to have a whole list of preferences and the type of person that you would like to be with. If you talk to my wife, she will tell you that when I met her, like after 2 or 3 conversations, I literally sent her my list. I sent her my list because she matched every single thing that I was looking for on my list. And now we're married. Right? So it works. If you have no idea what you're looking for, going out there and prospecting is going to be a challenge because you won't understand what bait to use. You won't understand what hook in conversations to have with people. Just like if you're looking for people in fitness, I highly doubt you're going to invite them to like 5 guys or something. They're probably going to look at you like you're crazy. Okay? All right. Also, when you're thinking about your approach, if you're not sure who to reach out to, if you have people like me in your database that are old friends or old acquaintances that you haven't spoken to in years, don't be afraid to use care codes. Right? Don't be afraid to just reach out to people and use the board conversation, right? Not found on the road dead, but family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. I don't know, maybe that's a southern thing. Nobody up here says found on the road dead, huh? Found on the road dead. Board. It's because the Ford cars always break down, so we say found on the road dead. Yeah. But it's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Like just the other week, I literally sent out 100, I've done 100 text messages a week. It's really 100 text messages on Monday, so I don't have to do them the rest of the week. And all I'm doing is saying, hey, it's been a while. I know that I haven't kept up with you like I should have, and we both had life going on. I'm just being really intentional about keeping the people in my life that I want to keep in my life. And then I asked if, they'd be willing to do me a quick favor. I'll wait for them to say yes. And I send over a link. And the link that I send over goes to a Google form, and it's not a bunch of real estate questions. It's literally making sure I have everything. So I have the name, phone number, right? Email address here is right? Favorite snack, favorite drink, favorite food, things like that. Anniversary. So when all these things come up now, not only am I just reaching out to you for no reason, I can reach out to you on your anniversary, and then I can send you a gift that matches something that you actually like. If your favorite restaurant is on there, I can reach out and send you a gift card to your favorite restaurant. Okay? Yes.
Is that all automated, those texts that you send, or do you send?
No, so they're not all automated.
Okay. But like level, like close people you know to keeping that over houses, or the other one.
I'm sending them to everyone. There was, I think her name was Keisha. I met her in 2019. I remember sending her my card. Fortunately, she didn't respond right away. She called me, and then when I was talking to her, I realized, oh, she was an interior designer that I met in 2019. I have not spoken to her since that day. And I told her, I said, hey, you know what? I figure if you're still in interior design, maybe we can get together, right? We can figure out how we can partner with each other. I was literally going through all 3,943 contacts in my phone.
Yeah, and then you send them out after you saw, and obviously the show.
For me right now, because it's basically 4,000 contacts, I'm doing 100 a week for the next 40 weeks.
And then obviously you're going to get a lot of people who don't respond or whatever. But the first time you started sending all those out,
I'm gonna do it again.
and you often just from your side, like people like ask, like why are you sending this out? Like just like friends, like people just
Yeah, I can care less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you care about the people that you randomly stop or the people that you door knock or things like that? Like, it might be a little awkward, and that's also a part of the plan and a part of what you get to do to get to your end goal. Right? So whether people want to talk to me or not, I'm going to figure out a way to talk to them. Right? We're going to find something that allows them to talk to me.
Last week was the first week I tried to take messages, and I used Toledo like in for the first time, and I think I spent like 200 that day, and I had the same goal like with the people that were able to do how to respond. But I didn't know when they could like stop or like whatever that message is that the text message, it made me feel like okay, this is somebody I can take out of my daily obviously my information. Versus just having in my database and thinking for myself, this is the place with my services for one classification, and they really don't. So it kind of looks the opposite. Like you don't feel like, man, they don't want to use it. It's almost like, okay, I'm able to narrow it down to people who know.
Yeah.
And some people don't respond at all. Like, again, just send it out that time.
Yeah, so yeah, certainly the people you meet, I think like not pushback, but like weirdness from like closer friends to be like, oh like send this out.
No, I mean they might laugh at me or something like, dude, you just sent this to me. Like, I know. I forgot I don't have your anniversary in my phone, or I don't have this in my phone, just fill it out.
Yeah.
And if the goal is for you to stay complimentary, like they're responding after slow.
Exactly.
Like, they still conscious of like any level time.
Sure, 100%.
I was gonna say, worst thing that can happen to somebody else, but honestly, you get funniest thing ever. The real lover was like, yeah, send me your real friend. I don't know, like that's like really, it's fine, but the whole point of it is to, stay online. And if anything, it's not necessarily the reaction you want, it's like a funny little way of that.
Yep. I will say the text message that I got the most, the response I got the most was, as far as negative ones, was take me off your text messages. And I responded, hey, just let you know this isn't an automated message, it's actually me. That's it. I completely negated the fact they said take me off. And the reason they typically do is because they think, oh, it's an automated text, I don't want to be a part of this. No, it's me. That's why I send them out myself, or I'll send them using loop message. I like loop message because it sends directly from your phone and from your number. It's not a separate number or anything like that. So they get to see that. So, anyone ever heard of DTD2? No? It's okay. So if you go to KW Connect, you can actually find a DTD2 schedule. Also, shameless plug, if y'all are going to be around, which I trust you will, in October, when we have Bold, we coach DTD2. So this particular system right here was actually written by two of our coaches. They partnered with the Census Bureau, and they actually went and averaged out and saw how many people had last names starting with every letter. And they put them together. So, for instance, week 1, you will call everybody in your database with a last name that starts with A and a last name that starts with W. You'll text everybody with the last name that starts with N. You do this. It's broken up into 13 weeks so that you can touch every single person in your database voice to voice. It's through a phone call at least 4 times a year. This right here is an amazing way for you to use your database. Stay in contact with your database. Hey, talk to all of your past clients. Ask them for referrals. Anybody here sold a property that had a tax abatement on it at all? Church. See, church. The church. Call everybody in the church. Yeah. Yeah. I was just talking to Alex. I'm doing a golf tournament. And with that golf tournament, like, I'm also getting information from people who are registering, and I get to add into my database and keep them in contact with my database. Right? So not only am I helping charity, I'm also helping my business at the same time. Right? I don't know why that extra one there. So we collect information. When you call them, find out what's going on in their life. If you're like me, it's okay for you to be slightly creepy when you call people. I don't know if you know this or not. As a realtor, you're a glorified stalker. You should know everything going on in everyone's life. Right? Look up their Facebook and everything. That's how you can prep. If you're calling A&Ws, maybe you don't start calling until Wednesday or Thursday. Maybe Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, you're going to Facebook and Instagram and you're checking to see what vacation trips and other stuff they had going on, like what just happened in their life. So now when you call, you have something else more relevant to bring up. So that happened today? Yeah. What exactly happened?
It was bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I called yesterday. That I looked. I said, "I looked at her Facebook." I said, "Oh, she looks back."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, use everything you have as your disposal. Use all of it. Okay. Yeah, here's the other thing. You get to have people who recently purchased with you. And when I say recently, I don't mean like last week. I mean like the last 5 years or so. Reach out to them, check in on them. If you just closed a home at the, last year sometime, in the beginning of the year, did you reach out to them to give them all of their closing documents again for taxes? Right? 4th quarter, that's what I'm doing. Hey, you bought with me last year, you're probably working on your taxes. Here are your closing docs so you can give this to whoever's preparing your taxes. Right? Oh, hey, take a look at this so you can see if you can fight taxes right now. I don't know if you know this or not, but in Montgomery County, they have 2 weeks left for them to fight their appraisal values for their homes. Are you reaching out to the people that were out? You can do that using this as well. Here's one that's interesting. I know people tell you to call FSBO as it expires, and do it. It's great. And visit one FSBO or expire every single day. Just go to the house. Not one of them. So you've done one so far? I think the close it though. Not with my door. Yeah, do it. Here's the thing. Everybody says FSBO is for sale by owner. That's great. That's cute, and it's the fastest source of business opportunity. These are literally people who are already not just raising their hand, they're already selling their home. And I believe the exact number is 87%. It's 86 or 87% of for sale by owners are not actually looking to sell their home themselves. It's their interview process. They put a sign out in their yard to see who's actually going to call them, who's going to reach out to them, who's actually going to do some work. So don't run away from them. Go visit their house. Take them something of value. If you're on Zillow and you see that a for sale by owner is having an open house on Saturday, hey, go to their house on Thursday or Friday night. Take a little book with you and ask them if they have a way to get feedback. Most of them are probably going to say no. And then even if they do say yes, just ask, hey, if I was selling my house myself and you walked in my home, would you be 100% honest with me if you did? They're probably going to say no. Say, hey, well, here's what I'd love to do. I'd love to give you this. It's just a way for you to collect some information. I'll come back on Sunday. I'll pick it up. I'll call everybody personally to get their feedback. And they'll probably ask you what's in it for you. To be 100% honest with you, I just get their information and potentially get to help you figure out what's not, why your home isn't selling. That's one. When you go back and pick it up, the next thing you do is you write it. The next thing you do is you take a seller's property to school. Why? Because they're going to need that to sell their home. It's going to help protect them. Boom. You go back maybe even the next day, you take a lead-based paint disclosure. You start just giving things to them. And the last thing you do is you take over maybe a list of all the steps. What are they going to need to do with title? You start showing them how much goes into actually selling their own home until they finally ask, hey, you haven't asked me to sell my home once. No, I'm just wanted to help you out because if we can have a good experience with you, it'll make everybody's life easier. Real good. I know you had your hand up.
Now, you were saying that that list you got now, so maybe people stop by. What's that list from?
No. People who are going to their home, so I take a book for them just to have people sign it.
That's what I thought.
Yep. You can go to, you can be really, really fancy and go to Staples or something like that and get it. I go to the dollar store and get a really small book that sits at the front. You literally, and I seriously, I just spend a ton of money on it, right? And yet,
How often do you see that? It's pretty a lot of importance. Small.
that get feedback.
That people listen back.
Not to the extent, anytime I hand out that book, I'm getting a list of people.
Right.
Yeah. Because one, they haven't thought about it. And then I'm also providing something to them when I go back and pick it up. Yeah.
They are so popular.
Say that again.
They are so good.
Oh yeah, think about it. Absolutely. But
I was gonna say that work, and actually how I got this, it did take months. But what I would do is there's a house that they work on, and the contract, okay, we're going back to them. I don't tell else, the guy or whoever was gonna rent it, so the first thing they did, I don't know, I've done some people contract, I was like, okay, well, we might have to start doing that, the house started. Go home, the contractor ended up buying a house from the actual owner, all marketing. And then I kept on them, hey, I've been, y'all get some work done, whatever. 3 months, 4 months later, still buying, like every month, every often. I'll say about 2 weeks ago, I happened to see me for, and birthday came, and you know what, I'm kind of good. I got another properties. I'm gonna start off with these two. I'm gonna see what you do and then continue. I got some more properties. I'm just too good and serious about it. So right now I had two missing for the market. Which by the way, if anyone had a client that that one back home in West of 8, from the 8, have the people in the market. The other ones are getting that. Let's go down, 11, I'll get our extension. Then 19131.
So, fill out the housing authority, does a whole payout standard in 25% code. One not something, one not updated in November of last year, so it used to be like a balance of $5 per individual. Now, if you're in Carroll Park, so they're working on upgrading, housing is going to pay out 2,100.
Just what they're willing to pay us.
So that's why that's the government charity too, hopefully money, section 8, certain vehicles, so you get more money, payments.
Yeah, don't be afraid to go knock on these doors. And also, when you're going, make sure that you are prepared and you have something about you. Right? Make sure you're prepared and you have something about you. So the next thing I have here is unsolicited CMAs. You can send them out, or when you're knocking, you take it with you. Now, it's a little bit more than just a CMA, right? I'm not going to provide full costs. What I'm doing here is I'm getting a personal cover letter. I'm going to give them information about myself, who I am, the fact that I would love to help them. Especially if this is an expired or for sale by owner. There's probably photos, things like that you can edit. Boom, you put it in there. Your value proposition, what it is that you offer for them. If you know how long it takes for you to sell a home, if you know your average numbers. So for instance, I know me, if I'm doing strictly residential, my average days on market is 6.8 days on market. If I'm doing my residential and commercial, it's 7.4 days on market. I have an average sales of 104% of the asking price. I can take that information and put it in. My menu of services, everything that I offer. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I know you're considering selling your home. I don't know if you've thought about repairs or not. This is everything that we're able to do. So not only will we just put a sign in your yard and market your property on social media or Zillow, we can also help you with our fixed down pay later program. Right? We'll take care of all the repairs for you. You don't pay us until it closes. Right? Like, these are things that we're able to offer. Market stats, your stats, personal stats. You put this together, you take it to the home, or you send it to the home. How many people here, if you got a FedEx package, you were going to open it? I mean, if I get a FedEx on my doorstep, I'm going to open it. All right? So I'm not telling you to go spend a bunch of money to send FedExes. I'm going to let you know everything that I did with this stuff as well. Did you know you can go get a FedEx envelope for like next to nothing? Okay, all right. You know that the, what is it, little, it's not a stamp. You can put all the information there. Right? Not a QR code, little FedEx packing stamp or packing slip, right?
Mailing label.
There you go. Thank you, Eric. The mailing label, right? You can go into that for free. You just pick it up. So here's what I did. I had FedEx envelopes or USPS envelopes, the mailing labels that were free. I wrote the information and then I dropped it off in front. So it looked like I spent money on it. It's great. And no, it was probably like $1.20. Like, it was next to nothing. That's if you don't have the funds. I told you, most of you know, when I started, I had nothing at all. I couldn't afford anything. Right? So, unsolicited CMAs. Here's what happens with this. You get them thinking. One of the things that I love to do with the unsolicited CMAs, I'm not going to give them an exact value of their home. I may say, you can profit $120,000. Could say that. Or I could say, what would you do with $120,000? Now they're just thinking about it. You have their contact information, you reach out to them again. Hey, Tiana, this is Jerry over at KW Power. I sent you a package the other day. I wanted to follow up with you and see, did you ever get a chance to take a look at it? Let me ask you. If I was going to help you get that $120,000, what would you do? Very rarely will I go in and just ask somebody to sell their home. Because, yeah, they want to sell their home. And yeah, you get them thinking about their goals, get them thinking about their end, it's a lot easier to move them forward. Any questions on this one? No, it's pretty simple. Publish one, I have a buyer post a week. So I told you my social media stuff is definitely not as elaborate. This is literally going and saying, hey, I have a buyer looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home between $200,000 to $250,000 in XYZ area. And I'm specifically targeting anyone who has a home like this. Now, the reason that I will put that range is because some people might not believe necessarily what their home might be worth. And yet, if they see, hey, I live in this neighborhood, I got a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, I can get $250,000 for it. Again, we get them thinking. You see them like it, you go on it. You send them a message right away. You see them share it, you send them a message right away. They comment on it, you send them a message right away. That's the part where a lot of us fail is we just do it and then we sit back and we're like, no, that's it. Like that's not going anywhere. You gotta follow up. Right? Fortune's in the follow up. They like your post, you go send them a deal. Any question about this? No? You can do it in more desirable neighborhoods, tagging places, all of them. So this starts kind of getting into my favorite part, which is the promise script. Has anybody here heard of the promise script? Right, so I'm going to give you the basic and then I'm going to read this one. This is what a promise script is. Use it in your buyer and seller consultations. And you make a promise to them to deliver them a certain type of service. Most people say 5-star service. Okay. Personally, I use the words 10-star service. The reason I do that is if I have them thinking 10-star service the entire time, and then the survey comes around and it's for a 5-star review, it's a lot easier to get that 5-star review if they've been rating you on a scale of 1 to 10. Right? So I'm making a promise to them, and I'm going to read you this is the original one from the Tony Baroni team. Yes, Tony Baroni is his real name. He lives in Florida. That's his real name. Okay? I think it's great. And this one says, the promise means that we will deliver the best service you can ever imagine receiving. It means everyone on our team will be focused and care about your needs as if you were our only client. It means we will anticipate challenges and get ahead of it so we can stop any surprises. It means the Tony Baroni team is focused on making this a 5-star experience that exceeds all your expectations. So in return for the promise, we want to compel you to do 2 things. Between right now and closing day, you will be compelled to refer someone that needs assistance with real estate. This may be someone that needs to sell a house, refinance, buy a home, or just has general questions about real estate. It's very important that when you have this person, when you refer this person to us, you will get permission for us to call with their phone number. So there's a 100% chance that we're able to reach them. All right? Typically, here's what I'm going to say. Hey, between now and the time that we close, I'm just going to ask for a little bit of feedback and ask that you send us a referral. If you know anybody that would love to have the same experience that you have, send them over. And if you can connect us on a 3-way text, that would be wonderful. And I love doing the text that way because if Gianna puts me on a text with you, you're probably going to respond to that faster than you just saw this random 254 number from Waco, Texas. Right? The next one is we ask for you to fill out online reviews about your real estate experience after closing or any time during this transaction. I think a lot of us fail to do that part. We only ask for referrals at the closing. Reviews at closing. And yet, if you ask for a review throughout, and they're thinking about giving you 5 stars throughout, now it's easier to get a referral during that time as well. Okay? We make this very easy for you to do by mailing you all the details after you earn a 5-star review. This is important because Tony and the rest of the team wants to know how we did for you, and also many people select their realtors based on online reviews. Here's the thing, I'm just going to tell you that I'm looking for a review throughout the process. I'm going to send you a link for review every single step. The reason is the more information I know about how I can service you, I can either change or continue to do that for the people that I work with. Now, here's what I add to my script. All right. I asked them that if I am able to provide them an amazing customer experience, if I provide them a 10-star experience, would they be willing to allow me to place a sign in their yard? This is for buyers, by the way. 15 to 30 days after the close. People are looking for this. So think about this. You work with the buyer, you sell them the home, they move in, you now put in a sign that looks like a for sale sign. Right? So for me, I don't actually have for sale on my signs, I just have the riders that say for sale. Right? So I have that. I take off the for sale rider, I put on a rider that says thank you. So it looks like a for sale sign in front of someone's home that just finished working with you. Now for the next 30 days, people are walking by that sign and they're calling. And they'll call you and say, I'm sorry. Was that a question? Yeah. All right. So now for the next 30 days, people are walking by and calling and are saying, hey, is this Jerry? Yeah, this is Jerry. I was calling about 123 Main Street. Hey, that's wonderful. Is this the best number to reach you just in case you get disconnected? Awesome. And what's your name? Wonderful. Now I have the name and I have their number. Boom, we're good. All right, so you're calling about 123 Main Street. Got it. So I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Are you thinking about buying at this moment? Yeah, I am. All right, so this property actually just recently sold. Just finished working with the family that bought that home. So much that they wanted to share my information with everybody that they could. And they thought this would be one of the best ways. I'd love to give you the same experience that I gave them. What would you be available to me? You need tomorrow at 1 o'clock, or would Thursday at 3 be better? When I didn't have listings, I was thankful for buyers because they became my big listings. Now, here's the thing. You cannot put for sale on these things. Okay? If it says for sale, you just opened yourself up to about $5,000 fine. The first. Okay? Because now you're lying and frauding the public. Okay? So you think about this as the roofers, the painters, and all the other vendors that's out there that have those little signs in the yard because they just finished somebody's roof. That's the same thing. Your buyer loved working with you so much that they were willing to let you advertise on their front lawn for 30 days.
I don't think advertising goes wrong. So that's good.
I mean, as long as they really let you do it, I think you'll be fine. I just have for 15 to 30 days. One, because I'm not about to be spending a bunch of money. These signs ain't cheap, right? I'm not about to be spending a ton of money on all these signs. And I use metal signs. Yeah. So I have a couple that I can put up around the city for multiple listings, and then at the same time, with the buyers, you just don't. You're not going to sit it out there too long, because now here's what happens: if it's out there for longer than 30 days, you might have an issue. Not guaranteed, and you might have an issue. What I mean by that is, if you see a for sale sign sitting on a home for 3 months, I'm probably not calling that realtor because why is that sign up there so long? Right? Any questions about this? So notice this is like at the end because it's my absolute favorite. Okay, there's only one more tip trick that I'm sharing with you, and that one right there is a physical deal. Okay, only if you must. I know we talked about physical deals. Here's what a physical deal looks like. You have a house for sale by owner. Would you let me do an open house on it? A lot of people will. Yeah. He's like, probably not. I'm going to bring some people to buy your home. And you probably won't even give me a commission on it. But my physical deal is this. Short-term listing between 5 and 30 days. That's it. Because here's the thing, I cannot legally do an open house on your property because I have my city. So if I'm doing an open house on Saturday, well, I gotta market that open house as well. I can't legally market that without representing you. So I need at least a 5-day listing contract. Here's the other thing. How long does it take for you to sell a listing? Anybody? It depends.
That's a great day.
Exactly. She's like, well, we faster than 30 days. Exactly. Here's the thing. If you have an immaculate listing system where you know if I price it correctly, if I market it correctly, I'm going to get this sold. When I say my average days on market is 6.8 days, that's only partially true. My average days on market is actually probably closer to 2 days if I made it efficient. The reason is we don't go active until Friday. Right? It goes coming soon on Monday, no showings or anything allowed. It goes active on Friday just so more people can now start seeing additional pictures and things like that. However, no showings allowed on Friday. No showings allowed Saturday morning until 11 a.m., which is when the open house is. Now everyone is looking to get into the open house at the same time. I'm collecting their information. I don't care who you are, even if you're a realtor. I'm getting your info as you come in. So now I can email you. If you come in without a realtor, I ask, do you have a realtor? Can you provide me your realtor's information so I can send them this info? Now I'm sending out an email at 3 or 4 p.m. after my open house ends to everybody that came to the open house. And I'm letting them know, hey, thanks for stopping by the open house at 123 Main Street. I'm sure you saw all of the interest on the property. Right? Just no one has been able to see it. Everybody don't see it now the first time we live together. I'm sure you saw the interest on the property. We will be accepting offers through Monday. Typically get that first offer that same day. My last listing, which is getting ready to close down, we got 4 offers that same day after setting it up. Yes.
But then, I don't feel like, they have you, how to online.
Exclusive listings?
No, maybe.
Mhm.
But I noticed like when I have one there or updates or whatever, there's very little interaction between how we, though it says 500 people on there. If someone says, hey, I have this thing coming, you might get by.
Yeah, they're responding. I know they're seeing it. Yeah. How many people responding? Right? They see it, it's great. A lot of people were very busy, right? They're not gonna respond on everything. They're probably, I see stuff all the time on it. And then when I see it there, I go look it up somewhere else. Right? Yeah, so it's, it's not necessarily for the interaction as much as it is for getting it out there. Right? People are still looking at the newspaper, looking at the news, but they're not making comments on all of it. Now you're gonna have some, right? You go to YouTube, you see a YouTube video, right? You got 5 million views on it, and you got 200 comments. Well, those 200 people had more than enough time to do absolutely nothing. I don't get it, right? People are watching it, they're just not commenting, right? So here we go from here, we listen. And we're listing it tomorrow. We're listening to get our information out there, our name out there, we're listening to get another sign up there, we're listening it so that we can now sell this home. Hey, it's a short-term contract. This is a physical deal. And what this helps you is you can do this in a really great neighborhood with high turnover. Boom, you're good to go. Because I get this up there and then immediately you are listing a property. Might have to do this in class. If you're listing a home, you get it under contract, you should market to every single property you've got listed. Right? You list a home and you get 2 offers on it. You can only accept 1 offer, right? So now you go back to every other property within that development, within that block, within that neighborhood, and you say, hey, we had multiple offers on 123 Main Street, we could only accept 1. I know you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home as well. Have you thought about selling your? By the way, this one is sold. We still have more contracts for people who are looking. Like having to take a whole lot of time to work. I want to make it easy. It's easy to go out there, grab a listing, you sell that listing, and you market the heck out of that listing and everything else. Right? So, any questions or ahas? By the way, if you're newer to KW, we have a lot of acronyms. AHAs stands for Agents Helping Agents. So it's anything that you took away that you may want to share with us.
That's.
Everything. I didn't come up with it.
I mean, I think for me, maximizing, I think I'm more inclined to maximizing buyers, because they seem more readily available, whereas I hear what you're saying as far as listings. People know when it's on house, right? Because typically they're reason why they need to move, they need more space, like there's almost like that direct line to sell the house, where buyers is not always the case. They're like, oh, maybe 6 months, so much, you never know. So that's what I'm thinking, like that's why it can't be faster than just with the buyers, because it's more direct line. And then maximizing. So once you said it, like have a system, but what do I do? How do I get more listings from this one? So.
And then also for you work with buyers. You did 15 transactions last 4 months?
14.
14. Okay. So what would happen if all 14 of those buyers had put a sign in the yard?
Moves on Monday online. This one we look
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, you just sold Monday, so now you can have a review and then ask them, hey, would you allow me to put a sign in the yard?
I feel like
He's like, I'm about to go do that now.
that's gonna get side feed now.
Now, here's something that I want to share with you. Okay, this is called capital. All right, so think about this. On average, it's going to take you at least 30 days to close the property. Okay, you're going to probably spend your first 30 days really walking through this and building up your pipeline.
Looking at that, like, well,
So when I said walking through these steps, you're gonna spend the first 30 days visiting the FISBOs, right? Sending the unsolicited CMAs, right? Calling and figuring out who your avatar is, right? Working on this prospecting marketing. You're gonna spend most of your time there for the first 30 days. Now, set the appointments, go on the appointments, and yet don't stop this. Drive this as hard as you can for those first 30 days. If you don't see the results, figure out where down red, what did work for me, and then what can I double down. Here's the great part, because if you do this in a cap and a quarter, and you stay consistent with it, are you capping every quarter? Here's the great thing: once you cap, you're at 100%. Now you're getting 100% of that for the other 3 quarters of the year. I'm not going to tell you to do anything that I wouldn't do. I was legit broke. I was legit not making any money. I was doing absolutely nothing. My first year was 2 sales. I stole a lot of this information. Right? I have no problem telling you that from Cody Gibson, who was doing it in Bellevue, Washington. His stuff was a little different, so I basically studied it and figured out how can I do this in Philly. And this, again, a lot of this info, it's in Cody Gibson, was on a bold, like class that I was taking. I turned around and said, okay, if I do this, I'll be fine. And then my business grew. And then I had a lot of opportunities out of it. So I'm going to stop because it's Tiana's turn.